Been in talks with Cowboys about a long-term extension for months, and according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Bryant believes there's a big chance that they will have an agreement before the season starts. Here's what he had to say. I honestly feel like what I do, sooner or later, I'm going to get what I deserve. I believe it. That's why I don't stress about it. There's no need to stress about it. It's coming. I know it's coming, so no need to worry. The owner, Jerry Jones, his response, he says, well, he wouldn't refute it, and that Dez has a really good sense of the situation. So here's the question. Should Jerry Jones lock him up before the season starts? Right now, B-Dog, he makes about $2.5 a year. So should you don't like that number? Yeah, I know.
Not for him.
Oh yeah, not for him especially. So should Jerry Jones try to do this before the season starts?
The problem with the Dallas Cowboys, and one of the reasons they had to let one of the best defensive players of all time go, is because of their inability to manage the cap. So they've been pushed against the cap for a long period of time. And when you begin to filtrate the offense with just a flow of big contracts, Tony Romo, I think offensive tackle, Todd Smith, T. Smith just got his big deal. You begin to neglect a defense that is lack or void of talent, all right? That's the issue that the Dallas Cowboys have. Has Dez Bryant earned a right to get a big deal? Absolutely, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
I believe he has. I believe the numbers that he puts up, if you put him with any receiver in the game right now, I think that he's top 3, top 4, whatever you want to call it. I believe he's done that. Now, the question then lies, has he matured enough in his antics, so to speak, controlling the emotional part of him enough to give him that big payday now? I'm of the humble opinion that he has done that he's been able to come to grips and understand that he can use the motivation of the emotion that he has in a positive direction. Okay. I think he's doing that now.
Calvin Johnson makes 16. Larry makes 16. So you think Dez belongs in that range?
Maybe not quite Calvin Johnson, but up in that range, yes.
All right. Stephen A.
Outside of Megatron, I don't know a receiver in the game that I believe in more than Dez Bryant. The brother's a stud. It's just that simple. If there's a problem with him not getting his money right now, it's because of the ineptitude of these fake, phony frauds known as America's Team by a bunch of people that I don't even know. Don't interrupt me. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. That's right. That's right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. That's right. I'm being redundant here because it needs to be redundant. The pathetic Cowboys sitting there and robbing America of its stature by labeling itself America's Team, being synonymously, religiously, perpetually associated with mediocrity. 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and before that 6-10, paying a quarterback $55 million in guaranteed money with a bad back.
We know all that.
And I'm telling you, so what I'm saying is this. I am getting to the point. I have been at the point. My point is, I understand the inefficiency with the cap. I understand that in practical terms, theoretically speaking, literally speaking, it might not behoove them to give Dez Bryant his money. But that ain't because of anything Dez Bryant has done. It is because of the ineptitude of the Cowboys organization. Dez Bryant is a stud. He is big time. And by the way, zip it, I'm talking. And by the way, not only is he big time, Skip Bayless, here's the problem. This dude, that emotion that Bryant alluded to, that's exactly what the Cowboys lack everywhere else. If it wasn't for him being emotional, I don't know if they would feel accountable. Jason Witten is as productive as he is, not only gets to play tight end, but pick the roster. I don't want T.O. here. He's affecting things with me and Tony Romo. He's gone. Oh, stop it. Yes, he did. Jason Witten is slick. He is. I am not exaggerating. Actually, I got it from very reliable sources that he said that. I stand by that. That's right. I said
about two-thirds of the team wanted him out.
You can sit there and say what you want to say. I know what the players told me. And I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. No, he did not.
Yes,
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Here's the deal. You got. I wasn't talking about T.O. I was talking about Jason Witten. I'm saying to you that Jason Witten, whether it's Tony Romo, and he's ingratiated himself with Jerry Jones. He's sitting there, and the wife's and the owners, but everybody's chilling, everybody having a good old time while y'all are mediocre. You could pay them. I solely support paying the offensive line because they did a good job last year, and they may be the best in the game this year. So I get all of that. But at the same time, why should Des Bryant have, I understand literally speaking, he does have to suffer because I have a cap to put forward, and I need to prioritize my defense because we stink. We're going to be awful, giving up 600 yards in a preseason game. But isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame? And don't you dare start off your soliloquy by saying back to the question. I have stayed on the question. Isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame? Isn't it a shame that Des Bryant has to be the one to suffer because the Cowboys don't know what they're doing? That man deserves his money. That man deserves his money. He just can't get it because they're so inept they can get away with not paying him.
Steve, you know the question, right?
Please.
You know
please.
You know the question.
Please.
Now, back to the question.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, first of all, I'm confused because
You're always confused.
Wait, is Des Bryant a Dallas Cowboy? I'm losing sight. He is? So he's one of the fake phony frauds?
Yes.
He's a Dallas Cowboy?
No,
But the brother can play, but he's a fake phony fraud.
Him.
Which is it?
It's the organization. It's
Okay,
the organization and those who run it.
Okay. All right, fine. Okay, now let's get serious for a moment.
Serious?
Because it's difficult.
Do I look like I'm playing?
Yes, you do, but that's okay. Okay, back to the issue at hand. Would you give Dez his money right now? Because you can wait. You don't have to. I think his base this year is $1.78 million. That is humiliating, to say the least. But you could. If you really chose to, you have the right to franchise tag him the following year, and the following year, and the following year. Now, you'd have to keep going up to quarterback money for the third year. But you could do that if you really wanted to do it. And now we're back to this young man, and I'm a big fan, but he had 4 or 5 what I would call relatively minor incidents on and off the field over his first. Well, don't give me an because the one I'm about to get to wasn't relatively minor, because in 2012, as some of us remember, he was arrested for allegedly striking his mom during an altercation. Remember that one? Okay, so the team has to sit back and say, has he grown up? Can we trust? If we give him a Megatron-like contract, and Megatron got almost $50 million guaranteed to sign. What's the contract? 7 years, $114 million. This is huge money.
And he deserves it.
He deserves it. Okay, could you trust, if you're Jerry Jones, if you go to sleep, probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, that at 3 o'clock your phone wouldn't ring? Oh, Dez is, no, you can't have that. You got to be able to trust that he's become a leader and a cornerstone of your football team. I am leaning toward I trust. I'm leaning toward that I would get this done before opening Sunday. And I believe Jerry will go in that direction. Now, will it be Megatron money? I'm going to say it'll be close, but no cigar.
Doesn't deserve to be that level.
I would agree with that. Now, Eugene Parker is the agent, and Jerry has always had pleasant negotiations going all the way back to Deion Sanders with Eugene. He has high regard, and I think they have good chemistry.
Sure, Eugene is big time.
He's big time. So I'm going to say Eugene and Jerry will get this done, and Jerry will sort of close his eyes and say, Dez, I love you. I believe in you. Let's go forward together in partnership here for the next 5, 6, 7 years, and I'm going to trust you, and I think he should, but it's a close call for me. It's a close call.
It's not a close call for me. It's not a close call for me, and I get tired. Listen, you're fair. You're fair-minded in bringing up those things from the past. I understand that it's obligatory to do that because you have to take everything into consideration when you're investing in somebody in the future long term. But I will remind you, this is the NFL. And outside of your signing bonus, ain't nothing guaranteed. And you can sit up there and get rid of contracts all the time. Well, and if you can invest.
You can't get rid of like $50 million guaranteed.
Listen, if you can get, look, you got Tony Romo.
As in?
Man, you gave him $55 million. The man got 1 playoff victory on his resume in his entire career. I think when we look at Des Bryant and you talk about the wide receiver position, this dude is elite. What you look at Romo and see is you see a guy that puts up great numbers. You see a guy that's a good quarterback. But when you talk about the top quarterbacks in the game, Tony Romo, in terms of elite, is not in the conversation.
I agree.
Okay? So if he's not in the conversation, then you can invest $55 million in him. If you can invest in Jason Witten, who is older and slower, but still highly productive, but still entrenched as being a part of the level of ineptitude that the Cowboys have continuously put forward year after year after year after year after year.
How do you feel
How
about?
can you not sit there and turn around with a young stud in Des Bryant who's all heart and can ball?
What did you think?
And is tough and can do stuff. You can, whether it's fly patterns, it's going over the middle, and so playing in the slot. It does not matter. This dude is big time.
Okay.
And you got to treat him like that.
Okay, Tyron Smith got $40 million guaranteed.
That's right.
And I
Money.
had zero issue with that.
No issue.
Because he's had zero issues off the field, and he has emerged as one of the best, if not the best, left tackles in the game.
What about Des Bryant and how he's matured and evolved?
Well, we hope so.
What used to be an issue with Dez is now a strength, in my opinion.
Okay.
That emotional side that was out of control, I believe that he's come to grips with that, and that will fuel him going forward. I don't think the money will change him in the negative way. I think it'll be a plus for him to even
Plus
be
he's
a better leader. Absolutely, he's
Earned it.
Absolutely.
Brian Dawkins says Des Bryant's once was a weakness is now a strength. That's good. Good insight. Leave us with that, and we'll